Good morning, everybody. It's January 1, 2018. I hope you had a great New Year's. I wanted to share with you what we're doing in our strength and conditioning classes here at Gogin's Garage and give you some tips to warm up your bench press. Right? We all talk about having that big bench press, and Monday is International Chest Day, so I guess today is like the Monday of all Mondays, right? Because it's January 1 on Monday. But anyway, what we're doing for the strength and conditioning class here at Gogin's Garage is German volume training. And today we've got chest and biceps. So we're working bench press, we're gonna do preacher curls, and then some flies and some alternating curls, working on supination. So before we get into that, the purpose of this video, I want to talk about the warm-up process for your bench press. We wanna make sure that we are releasing muscles that pull the shoulder forward and sometimes can really affect our bench press and our overall posture. We're gonna talk about the pecs, we're gonna talk about the deltoid, or the front part of the shoulder particularly, and then we're gonna talk about the traps, this muscle right here, right? Those big guys that have those huge mountainous traps. So we wanna talk about the warm-up process for this, and all my warm-ups are written in a corrective exercise focus. It's very important that we have proper balance and proper activation with muscles. So check this out. We have a lacrosse ball. The reason we have a lacrosse ball is because we can get into the pec minor and better isolate the anterior head of the deltoid, and it's great for the traps. Now we can also use a barbell for some of these areas, and even a regular foam roller, but for the case of really getting in deeper to the muscle and isolating certain areas, I'm a big fan of a lacrosse ball. So we're gonna roll these areas out one by one for 30 to 60 seconds. Foam rolling is not a race. You should never rush this process. Then we're gonna stretch each area for about 90 seconds, maybe even 2 minutes. Then we're gonna work on isolating our opposing muscles to these, right? They're called our antagonists, okay? So for the chest, a very popular antagonist is the mid to lower trap and the rhomboid, right? Anterior deltoid is gonna be posterior deltoid. For traps, again, we have mid to lower traps. So our traps they're like a diamond, right? So if my traps come down, if you can imagine, this is my neck, they come out and then they come back in, right? And my scapula is right here. So for that purpose, I wanna make sure that I'm able to retract the scapula and bring it down. Right? That's gonna give me that optimal posture, and it's actually gonna benefit my bench press more because I'm not putting my shoulder in such a dangerous position. So again, get a lacrosse ball or even a regular barbell or a foam roller. They have other tools you can use, but if you're on your own, this is what I do almost every day. Chest, deltoid, and traps. I'll do other videos explaining how to isolate these areas, but I just wanna give a quick overview. Then we're gonna stretch the chest, deltoid, and traps. Then we're gonna do isolated strength, okay? We're gonna do external rotations. We're gonna do rear delt pulls. I like to elbow somebody in the face, right? That's what I think about when I'm doing that exercise. And then we'll also do scapular retraction with a barbell and then a resistance band. I'll do other videos covering this, but I just wanna give a quick overview for you today. And it's very important that we make sure that in those corrective antagonist exercises that we're doing a 4-second eccentric. Eccentric is very commonly known as the negative, right? As that muscle lengthens. That's the purpose of that. We also want to have it have a 2-second isometric contraction. So for the sake of understanding this principle, if I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm going to come up, I'm gonna hold that isometric contraction for 2 seconds, peak contraction. 2 seconds, then I'm going to lower for 4 seconds and then come back up and hold for isometrically. Okay, so we wanna make sure we have that 2-second isometric and 4-second eccentric. We wanna go 15, sometimes 20 repetitions. 1 to 2 sets per antagonist. And this is something that we would do every day for a chest day, even a shoulder day. But this is gonna be very important to make sure that we're getting the most out of our bench press, fixing our posture, and especially if somebody has really excessive rounded shoulders, we would do this every day, probably 5 or 6 days a week. making sure you're doing it at your own at home, or even in the gym. So anyway, this is the warm-up we're doing for today. I'll follow up with a recap of the German volume training, and then I'll spend some time going over these stretches and individual movements for you. But that's a tip. If you have problems with your shoulder, or you feel like you're weak in your bench press, or you feel like you're not getting the most activation out of your chest, like let's say you do bench press and you feel it in your shoulders and arms more than your chest, this can help because it helps retract that scapula, right? And helps bring your chest out more. So anyway, have a great New Year's Day. Hope this helps, and apply this, and I promise you it's going to help you improve not just your strength but also your efficiency.